We are in Chicago, and we are visiting the Bohemian National Cemetery. Welcome to the Faces of the Forgotten channel. We're in. This cemetery was founded in 1877, and it was founded because it was racism and bigotry, and we had the Catholic churches refusing to bury a Czech woman who had been very devout Catholic, and they didn't want. I think they went to 5 cemeteries Catholic, and they all refused her because she didn't do her Easter vows or Easter habit, whatever. And boy, that did it. So the Czechs said, "Well, we're gonna build our own cemetery," and that they did here. It's a beautiful place, large cemetery, and today you will find other denominations, you will find other ethnicities, but it's predominantly Czech at this cemetery. So let's pull over and let's look at some of the faces of the forgotten. This is Jan Pribble. I don't know if you can translate that. I don't even see, I see a date of 1912. Looks like 1912. Guessing that was the father, Joseph. 1938. Died. So, not sure. Maybe this was, Jan was the son. Well, here's a little boy named Eddie Sauer. Eddie Sauer. 1912. Eddie Sauer. Here's the grave of Lester Paroubek, born December 15th, died 1927 in January, 14 years old. Lester. It says, "Our son." How did Lester pass away? No one will know. This is the grave of Bazenka Dargarious. I see a date here of 1908 to 1914. So 8 years old. No, 6 years old. 6 years old. She only lived to be 6 years old. I wonder what happened. Sad. The angel. Joseph Rosenbaum. 1887, 1913. 26 years old. Died young. Music. He was probably musically talented. Paul Dragovich. No. Paul Dragoviel. Paul died 1888 to 1913. So, 25 years old. Another one who died young. What was his life all about? Lost to history. We'll never know. You know, you can't go look these people up on Google. I mean, you can try, but you're not going to find anything. And once a couple generations go by, forgotten. Faces forgotten. It's really sad. Makes you want to wonder. It makes you wonder, what's the point? What's the point? Why not get cremated and just cast to the wind where you want to be? I don't know. Just my opinion. So I'm standing in front of a mausoleum, Stedskal Bukal. Stedskal Bukal. And there is a statue here that's really scary. I don't know. I wouldn't want this. This is like something for Halloween. Don't you think? That is really creepy. And a lot of people are putting coins here by his foot. No, not for me. I think that's a female. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of creeps me out. This is the mausoleum for a famous guy, famous man that was the mayor of Chicago many, many years ago. His name was Anton Cermak. And sadly, he will be remembered for mainly the really tragic death. He was, there was an assassin that was going after President Roosevelt, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, right when he was elected. And 1910, 1950, I don't know, 1920, anyway, whatever the date was. I mean, it was probably 1920s, I think. Anyway, Cermak was with them. I think it was Florida, somewhere. And the assassin came and went close range, like the Reagan shooting. And the assassin's aim was missed because a woman grabbed his arm and knocked his arm away, and he shot Cermak by mistake. They say it was after Roosevelt. And look at that, here's a rosary on the door. Anyway, it's rusted. It's been here a while. Cermak took the bullet, and another woman took the bullet, and the woman died, and here's his crypt. Now here's the saying. This is what he said to Roosevelt in the hospital just before he died. I don't know if you can read that, but it says, I am glad it was me instead of you. And it was kind of a heroic statement he made to Roosevelt. And he died in March 1937, 1933. Can't quite see it. Looks like in the back there is his bust. Some pictures. I don't know if that was him when he was in the service, and then that's presumably his wife. Let's see if I can get that in there. Oh, there. Maybe when she was younger. I don't know. Anyway, pretty sad story. And it looks like his whole family was here, interred, is here. So, yep, rest in peace, Mayor Cermak, American hero. He took the bullet for President Roosevelt, and imagine what would happen if Roosevelt was killed and how World War II would have been different. The whole world would be different right now if Anton Cermak did not take that bullet for Roosevelt. Think about it. Now this is a face of the unforgotten. This man will never be forgotten. Again, a tragedy. Famous for being mayor, but again, more famous because of a tragedy. So, there you go. This intriguing woman, maybe grown just to be a girl. There's somebody actually, you know what? Somebody chipped it out. What the heck? Look at that. That is not just missing, that's been chipped out. Why would they do that? That's mysterious. Well, she has no name, but a beautiful face. That's the Holick family. There's some kind of mystery going on there at the Holick family. This is the tomb of Mamie Novak. Mamie only lived to be 21 years old. We won't know what happened, but we do know that. We have both dates on this tombstone. We again have the 3 rings. And I'm sure O-T, say Otek. That was probably her father. 1866, yep. And he died in 1950. And Matka Anna Novak, 1870 to 1939. And Ann Cobb, 1905, 1983. So we have some generations here. But really sad. I wonder what happened to Mamie. So beautiful. It's a beautiful woman. I'm not sure what her name was. It's either Jan Susik or Susik. Yeah, Susik. And presumably that's her husband. There's Jan, there's Frantiska. Oh, it's probably Frantiska. And there's L.R. Susik. 1898 to 1925. 1866 to 1939. Adler Scheibel. This is John A. Adler, 1892 to 1929. He probably was killed in the, oh no, that's after the Civil War, 1892. 37? 37 years old. Anton, well, there's Marie, but it doesn't even look like there was ever a picture there for Marie. 1859 to 1932, and then Anton Scheibel, 1853 to 1910. Adler. Oh, Teresa H. Adler. Yeah, no picture. What a beautiful angel here for them. This is the memorial for the Eastland disaster. Very famous disaster that happened in Chicago in the early part of the last century. It was a small cruise ship or liner for passengers. You can find this on Google, but it had the unique, to me, when I looked at that ship, it just looked like it came out of the water. It was a skinny, long ship. Looked to be really top-heavy, if you look at it in the pictures. And guess what? There's a picture as it rolled over right on the Chicago River downtown. A really sad story. Western Electric Company, their Hawthorne Club, it was a weekend trip they were going to take to Michigan with 3 other ships crossing the lake. And a lot of the workers it was a vacation trip. And by the way, I think this is this looks like the actual wheel from the wheelhouse, yeah, I'm imagining. And they left, they were getting ready to leave. It was a cool, damp day, morning. A lot of passengers were below decks, sadly, and the thing started listing to one side just from the people load. And I think they were on starboard side, and as the history goes, they were actually trying to ballast the ship as that was happening while it was docked. They were having problems already. And then all of a sudden, all the people, for some reason, ran to the other side of the... they ran to the other side. Now here's a picture of it. A lot of people. Well, they ran to the other side, and it just threw everything off, and the ship just rolled over. And they say that the people that were trapped inside, well, they were crushed by furniture, pianos, cabinets, all kinds. They all didn't have a chance. They all drowned. And there were over 200 Czechs alone from Cicero that were killed, and they're buried here right in this area. Most or all of them, I guess. And that's a really terrible disaster. You know, it's just the typical thing you see: money, corporations, not valuing human life or safety. It's like this. I think this happened right after the Titanic. Yeah, 1915. I can't remember when the Titanic happened, and still, screw-ups cost the lives of a lot of people and their families. Just imagine. Well, these people are remembered here only because it's a famous disaster. You know, people memorialize that kind of stuff. You know, what makes me sad is I look around and there's thousands of other people, and nobody remembers them. Okay, so I am looking for the grave of this little girl who died at the age of, I think she was just under 5 years old, and she was a kidnapping victim back in 1911, Chicago. Her name was Elsie. Well, actually her name was Eliska Paroubek, and they called her Elsie. Cute little girl. And she was kidnapped, and she was missing for a long time. And she was with a group of little kids on the street, loose in those days. It's not like today. And they were actually observing one of those organ grinders, they called them, with a little monkey on the street in Chicago. And she was left behind apparently and then just disappeared. And they searched for her for several weeks, and they did not have any luck in finding her. All kinds of suspects. They were blaming it on the gypsies at the time. Everything was racial, right? And they had some good suspects, but the police were just not following up. They would drop a suspect and get a new suspect, and they just wouldn't dig deep. And she's here somewhere. It's a black granite stone somewhere in this section. Well, anyway, even there was an 11-year-old girl who was helping in the search who was kidnapped when she was similar age, but she escaped because they went to north central Illinois, and a farmer recognized her, and the kidnappers were caught, sentenced to many years in jail. So they ended up finding her, some workers at the river at this dam or this, and they found her body floating pretty much unrecognizable. So sad. And the father was unable to identify her. Her face was unrecognizable, but apparently her mother knew her baby. And they never solved the crime. The killer went on to live his life. There was a famous guy, HENRY DARGER, that was later thought to be the killer. But he, this was after he became somewhat famous as what they call an outside writer for some really grotesque stories about little girls and torturing them and all kinds of crazy stuff with his cartoons. So they thought he might have been the killer. No one's ever going to know. No one's ever going to know. Well, I know I'm in the right section, but I am not. The maps are really tough to follow. I'll walk down here. I'll turn you back on when I find it, if I find it. So I think we are finally getting close to Eliska, Elsa's grave. Actually, I can see it. It's a distinctive tombstone that I can see in the distance. Yes, that's it. Eliska. Right over here. And I believe she's buried next to her father, who passed a couple years later, probably from heartbreak. Yep, here's her grave, everybody. Been looking a while for this. Eliska Paroubek. It'd be great if somebody could translate this stuff. Pull the weeds out. Yeah, let's see here. I'm not able to read it, of course. It's there. I think that's a better angle. So if anyone can translate that, that'd be good. But I do see at the bottom 1911, And Eliska was called Elsie, so we know this is her tomb. Now her father, I thought was here, but here's the mother. Oh no, it's someone else. Boy, where are they? Maybe here? No? Maybe... No, I know from the markings that her father and mother were here, are buried nearby, but I don't see any tombstones or markers around here. I'm going to nope, that's not them. I'm going to double check because I have a detail. No, I have a detailed map of where they should be. You know what? I think they're right here, and I think this is terrible. Their tombstones are gone. I'll check back in a minute. All right, so I have concluded that the mother and the father are buried here, in fact, right next to Eliska, and her father is buried here, and the mother, that's Frank. He lived to be 45 years old, and Carolina Paroubek is right next to her husband. The husband is in the middle. And no, Carolina, 57 years. She was buried in 1927. Frank in 1913, 2 years after Elsie in 1911. So sad. I feel like contributing some money and getting them some markers. I'm gonna look into this. It's so sad. They probably couldn't afford it, and they probably didn't have any extended family. Wow. Anyway, this is Eliska's place, her final resting place. Almost 5 years old. May she rest in peace. So I just checked here at the chapel, and good news. They were willing to. Well, it's $700 to do some nice headstones, basic headstones, but with everything, all the information. So I'm gonna come back. She said come back Wednesday. She's ordering, so. I'm going to take care of that for the mother and father. This is a statue just called Mother. And this is in front of the crematoria. So let's go check that out. I don't know if it's open. It appears to be locked. Let's see if we can get inside. Maybe through the side door. Well, not from this side. Oh, this is where they used to bring the hearse in. This looks like a pass-through. Probably for the cremation. Yeah. There's some pews there. Interesting. Let's go around back, see what's going on. Broken marble. Yeah, this is old. Nope. Well, let's give a knock at the back door. What do we have to lose? I'm going to turn this off. I don't want to make someone feel uncomfortable. This looks like the boiler room. Maintenance man room. Okay, I'm going to turn this off. This looks really creepy in here. Silence of the Lambs. Okay, this is what we saw from outside. So I don't know that those are pews now, but yeah, this is where the hearses would come in and drop the remains off. Here's the main chapel, it says. Now this is closed because of COVID-19, but he's letting me go through. So let's go check this out. This is an adventure. Holy cow, look at this. So this is the chapel. Wow. Look at this. Amazing. Boy, there was some money put in here. Man, it's like 110 in here. So here's where the coffin would be. Oh, it's a trap door. Look at this. It opens and goes straight down. Probably after the service, they just lower it down for the cremation. I don't know what's back here. I'm just like checking it out. Oh, the organ. Look at that. Look how faded these drapes are. Velvet. Look at that. Just imagine how many hundreds, no, thousands and thousands of services people pass through here. The priest giving this a prayer. Oh, here's another organ. Oh, with a microphone. This is probably the active organ. If they, I assume they still use this. This horse here. So, slides. Oh, this slides up. Privacy for the organist. This is really wild. There's like a secret door that opens here. Oh yeah, this coffin goes down. Secretly taken away. Let's see what else we can find. I wonder if there were stairs. I thought I saw stairs that went up higher. Maybe not. No, that's it. Let's continue to explore. Oh, here's the part. This is where all the people who were cremated, their remains are. Look at this. Holy cow. I don't have a light. Hopefully this will show. Look at this one. Interesting. Rodina Janda. That's where his ashes are. I don't see any dates. Rodina. This is Mill Sherry, 1927 to 1979. There are so many of these. And I can tell you something. These are faces of the forgotten, because nobody is coming here visiting these people. Well, most of them. So sad. Rudolph. Look at how elaborate some of these are. Boy, oh boy. Just imagine, what were their lives? What did they do? What did they contribute? What were the stories? They all had stories, every one of them. Full lives. Now they're gone. Now they're gone to eternity, and all that remains is their ashes. And these go on and on and on. Each one had a funeral, each one was remembered by maybe 2, maybe 3 generations, and then that's probably it. They'll be here alone. But they're not really here. They're somewhere else. They're on another plane. They're in heaven. If you believe in reincarnation, they're living today somewhere in another life. Who knows? The great mystery. Look at the elaborate. I mean, who were these people? This one, who are they? Boy, oh boy. It's kind of overwhelming because there's just so many. That's a soldier. That looks to be a soldier. Interesting. I guess you'd call these flower holders. There's all different kinds. I mean, this place goes back to 1877, guys. I mean, this goes American U.S. Legion. This goes way back. Got all the faces. Faces of the forgotten. All around us. And I go through the chapel here, and there's a hallway, and there are just many more. They're endless. You could spend days here trying to figure out. There's one woman up there, way up there. Interesting. She looks to be recent. Young. Looks like a younger woman. Yep. There it is. The Crematorium and Chapel.